Everybody, Matt Geary here for Geek Pride at UK Games Expo 2022, and I'm here with Rob from Diceworks.
Hi.
Nice things. So it's been 4 years, Rob. 4 years since we saw you last.
That really has flown, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. So how's your expo going?
It's all right. I've ended up doing this one on my own, which is a bit of a stress. And the guy that normally does the show with me is actually getting married tomorrow, and I'm a groomsman at his wedding. So I've got somebody else covering my stand tomorrow for the busiest day, but it's looking like we won't have any stock left anyway, so happy days.
So no drinking tonight then?
Oh, well, I don't know. I said that yesterday. I was walking around, I'm like, I'm really thirsty all the time, and I keep drinking things that aren't beer, and it's not doing anything. So then I went and had a beer, see if that worked. It was a moderate improvement, but yeah, it's. I've just absolutely just like yesterday when we were unpacking and stuff. It's so hot in here.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, all right. Really positive. Generally, really positive. Love demoing Flix because people are always. It's a nice fun one to show off.
It really
People
is.
can get into it. People can get into it really quick, so they can be left to their own devices a little bit, so you can kind of interact with some other people around and stuff. So yeah,
well, this is the
lots
game.
of people getting very excited.
This is the game that when we came 4 years ago, it was just like that's amazing. You know, we were just sort of like it had something different. It just had something that's just like
it's unique, isn't it?
Yeah, really unique's definitely the word. And and I went straight out and backed the Kickstarter pretty much straight after that.
Very, very much appreciated. Sorry for the delay.
So
on that note.
On that note. So the chaps behind you, we had Mark and Jared on the podcast, and we were talking about sort of their Kickstarters and stuff, and I'm always quite interested in sort of like finding out what the score is with people on Kickstarters.
Just general logistics.
Yeah, and then I said, I've got a Kickstarter coming in. It's called Air Flix. We tested it at Games Expo ages ago. It's not turned up yet. I wasn't sort of being an asshole, but I was kind of going, it's like what the hell's going on? And he basically said to me, he says, look, man, there's a lot more behind the scenes that you don't see. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of extra money.
Kickstarters. As I was saying to you earlier on, the thing with the Kickstarters is that, like, normally products just exist, and the first thing anybody knows about something existing is when it's already finished. And I think with Air Flix, we went to Kickstarter with it quite early in the procedure, and I wanted to use the Kickstarter the Kickstarter funds to just bring in loads of extra sculpts and stuff. So we ended up basically throwing a load of money into basically the entire Kickstarter money went into extra sculpts and extra maps and everything like that. So I was like, we're just going to build this into a brand. But then we hit just problem after problem with it. We did an issue with the mats, an issue with the discs. The biggest one was the discs because I've just got a batch back of the stuff that he was using originally, which is like cast acrylic. But when we did the bases the first time around, he used I think is it extruded? Do you know the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. So extruded acrylic apparently has a lower melt temperature. So when he put the laser through the disc, the edge underneath had a little rim. So when you try to flick it just goes ding! And that's so that was, how many discs was that? It was a lot. It was 6,000, something like that. So they all had to be individually. I gave them back to him, and he had them filed down, but they still weren't working. So we had to individually basically file and test every single disc. So it was like 200 man hours or something to get the disc into shape to move. Eaststar messed up the mat order the first time around with the colour. They replaced it, then they got the quantities wrong, which we've only just found out like recently. Then they've corrected it free of charge, which is nice. But we've had that. We had the company that was doing the casting stop casting, so we had to switch companies and get all new molds made. So it's just been
one after the other.
Just one chaos after another chaos at the same time as everything else in the world that everybody else is having to deal with, like your COVIDs and your what else did we have? Brexit. COVID.
So Brexit affected the costs.
Monkeypox. Yeah, so it's just, and then we found ourselves in a situation where, because we'd not been able to really go to Kickstarter with anything new, because we'd got outstanding projects, we'd already pumped money into other projects, and bank balance was not looking particularly sharp, and then escalating shipping costs meant that we couldn't afford to ship it. So basically, what we've been doing is doing the other stuff that we do in the business, which is prototyping, manufacturing. We do like the stand furniture and all that kind of stuff, and using the money from that to basically make up the difference in the shipping. So that because Air Flix was already very late, I really didn't want to pass any costs at all onto the backers because it's so late. So basically, I've just been making the money to cover the extra between the two projects that I've got. It's about an extra 20 grand we've had to come up with to do the shipping. So yeah.
So what is there anything you would have done, knowing what you know now? Now, I appreciate you wouldn't have known about the issues and stuff, but is there anything you might have done differently? Is there anything you would have sort of, looking back on it, you go, I wouldn't have done that. I might not have done that.
I would have probably. I would like to have been. I always say after because I did something similar with Exodus where I kind of got it to a point, and I've always had this idea in my head of, Kickstarter used to be something where people would come with a project that was kind of half finished and say like, hey, this is this thing that I'm intending to make. If you guys give me money, I'm going to make this thing. So I know that it doesn't work like that anymore. And essentially, you've got like a lot of people say it's a pre-order system because people are coming with complete projects. What I like to do is come with a project that looks complete, but then still use the Kickstarter money to actually develop it and make it a bigger thing than it was at the point that we put it onto Kickstarter. Yeah. And I did that with both of these projects. And in hindsight, because of the issues, it's caused me a lot of problems. And I think that I really am going to have to start going to Kickstarter with things that are in essence complete at the time that we do it, so we can just roll straight into manufacturing. So
that's it. Like I've always assumed, I understand that's what Kickstarter is, but when I bought board games, it's like it's a completed game that just needs produced effectively.
They just need to hit print.
Pretty much. It's just like this is the game, because like when we saw this. It looked like, wow, this is a full game. It's like that, and then it's just like all they need to do is press the print button and.
See, one of the things is I'm a graphic designer, and I tend to make when I'm doing prototypes, I make my prototypes look like finished games. So even when I've got something that's quite early, because I just make it look pretty well, just incidentally while I'm working on it. So like things always sort of look further along than they really are, which for. In terms of presenting it to people somewhere like this or on a Kickstarter, it's quite a nice thing. But
are you fully fulfilled now, or
no? We've still got not many. I think there's about 50 that still need to go out that are in quite obscure shipping locations that are now round about like 70-80 pounds or something to ship to. So some of the more remote ones we've got. There's a few American ones on there that were I think colour painted sets, because we changed painter as well part way through, because there was a drama with that as well. But there was a drama with pretty much every aspect. So it's
Did you have the same problems with Exodus, or?
No, different ones. I mean, Exodus wasn't delayed as much as Flix was, but again, we've still got the last of the Exodus shipping to do, and it is literally a case at the moment of the shipping is like tens of thousands of pounds more than it was going to be. So like the stuff that we shipped into like Germany, for example, that was one of the interesting ones that we had as well, because it was actually a Brexit COVID combo, because it was when the VAT rules were going to change. So everybody was trying to get stuff out before Christmas, and we got all of Germany packed and on a pallet to drop off at our local DHL depot, and the following day they closed the border. So we ended up unpacking all that stuff and just reallocating and sending it to UK backers, because it was while the world was all over the place, it was the only thing that we could do to actually move stuff out. So it's just been spinning plates really. So, but we will get there, and I'm confident that we have we should be done in about, I would say, 6 weeks to finish absolutely everything, just with like knowing, unless shipping jumps again by another 40% or something ridiculous.
Obviously, it's been a quite a stressful time for you, and to be honest, I felt bad. I'm generally quite a patient person and stuff, but I was just like, oh, it's been 4 years now. What's taking so long and stuff? But it's like, has it put you off putting stuff on Kickstarter? Because there has been, like I was reading some of the comments, and some people have just been assholes and stuff. There wasn't sort of.
Yeah, but it's always with Kickstarter. There's a vocal minority, and for every person that's like a bit arsey on the Kickstarter, there's like 6-7 people that'll just immediately message me after and go, "Hey, that guy's being an absolute." Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like. There's way more support than there is negativity, even for a project that's like trailing on for as long as Air Flix has ended up trailing on for. So yeah, I mean, I'm not discouraged from using Kickstarter, but I think, like I say, we're just going to be moving forwards. We're going to be doing going to Kickstarter with things that are basically finished. The other thing is that we've been since we did this Kickstarter, we've been manufacturing for other companies.
Okay.
So, like, obviously, you said you had Mark on the show. I don't know if you mentioned, because we basically manufactured, like Pocket Landship Kickstarter. We manufactured Pocket Landship and sent it out to him. I think it was like most of the Kickstarters that we manufacture for other people have got out of the doors on time. So, like, I'm in a different position now. When I did this game, it was me in my kitchen,
okay.
and now I've got a company and stuff, but I can't. I've been kind of siphoning bits off and pulling people in it as much as I can do under current circumstances. But like moving forwards, we've got a factory and a full staff. So if we're going with a complete product and manufacturing capability, theoretically we can, like, as soon as a Kickstarter hits funding goal, we can just away we go, because that's what we've been doing for everybody else.
Yeah.
But it's just been really frustrating not being able to do it for ourselves, because other stuff's been tied up. Like other elements, like, oh yeah, we can get all the card stock and the boxes and whatnot, because we're just going to do that in house. But like the minis have been held up, or the discs have been held up, or
It's such a beautiful game, though, man. I love it. Like, beautiful minis. Just the mechanics are amazing. Just such a.
Thank you very much.
It is such a shame you've had so many problems with it and stuff, because
I've still got a lot. Like when I come down and do shows like this, the response to it's always absolutely amazing, and everybody loves it, and we always sell out of everything that we bring down with us. So it's always like, yeah, this is brilliant. And I think that long term, like I've got a lot of plans for doing things like tournaments, and I think that you'll get it here. A lot of people will walk past and assume. I think it's the fact that there's a hex on there. Nobody assumes that it's a dexterity game, because people assume that the hex is a movement. But yeah, I think it's one of those games where I think if people see it being played, and see it being played competitively by people that actually like know what they're doing, it'll really get across what it is. And I think it'll be like the next time we come back with any Air Flix stuff, it's going to be much bigger.
See, I think this would work really well competitively. Like, I think this would do really well competitively.
I've designed something.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's I've called it the Dice Sports Mobile Arena.
Right.
And it's basically it's a camera rail with a camera above that sits above the cube that we run the game on, a big screen at the back, and like a little sponsor banner thing that goes around the outside, and then chairs go around the outside. So it's and then it's got all lights and stuff, so people can come out. And
amazing.
We've got an idea for having like championship belts. And so
man. That sounds really good. Such a good idea.
That's something I'm planning to do this year. So just if we get to that far, then yeah, it's going to be that'll be tipping up at Expo next time we're here.
Amazing. Okay, yeah, looking forward to that. So before we go, is there anything? Obviously, this is nearly completed. Is Exodus completed now?
Yeah, it's just the last. It's the last stragglers. We had some stuff for France that went missing, and we had one pallet go missing when we were doing the original shipment that we've had to go back and do again. And then there's just some obscure ones that were just very, very expensive to ship. So
what's next? What's on the?
Well, this is the thing. I've been doing loads of stuff in the background while I've been waiting for other people to deliver things and whatnot. So we've done a solid. It's mostly solitaire. It's solitaire cooperative. World War II SAS game.
Oh, brilliant.
So it's very much like the old Commando style. Yeah. So we've got that. We've got Air Flix, which is sci-fi version of Air Flix, which is interesting. It's got some big kind of gunship, capital shippy kind of things in it, and they don't flick. They move around on the hexes, so you've got like two different games going on, and you're flicking around.
Take my money.
Little stuff's flying around.
My money.
Yeah, and then I've decided I'm going to do the same with Flix, so we're going to put like a Lancaster in that moves by hex. So you've got like escort missions. So you've basically just got to get the Lancaster that's like a flying fortress from one side to the other, and you just.
Will that be compatible with this?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna have the ship, the Lancaster, and that's it. It's going to be the Lancaster and the stand, and the rules set, and you can just play, and it's own little squad mode.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, so I think that'd be really good fun to do.
Such a good idea.
We've got a game called Schism, which I'm publishing for a friend of mine, Chris, it's about angels and demons competing for the souls of mortals. Which I'm going to be. I've been keeping really tight-lipped on pretty much everything, just because I don't want to anger anybody that we've still got it is a small percentage. It's a small percentage of people now, but I've been keeping really kind of tight-lipped on everything. But we're kind of good to go with three projects pretty much immediately that are much further along than either of these were when they hit Kickstarter first time around. So
amazing, and I very much hope, man, that you don't have any of the issues next time. I appreciate you're going to probably have some, but I hope it goes well for you.
If it goes this badly again, I think that'll be it. that'll be it for me.
You deserve it, man. You deserve it.
I don't just mean games. I mean my time on this planet.
Oh,
we're done.
Oh, but yeah, thank you very much.
Walk off into the sea like Reggie Perrin. We probably don't remember Reggie Perrin.
Oh God.
Reggie Perrin.
But I really appreciate your time, man, and explaining everything. It's been great.
Well, yeah, it's been an absolute grind of an experience. Yeah. But you know, I'm still very happy to be part of the industry and dealing with the people that we're dealing with, and you know, I say generally support's been absolutely amazing, and loads of people come up to us and tell us how much they love it, they've bought it, the Kickstarter backs and things like that. So it's just that all makes it worthwhile. So overall, c'est la vie.
C'est la vie. That's it. C'est la vie. And on that bombshell, we'll leave it. I've been back here for Geek Pride, UK Games Expo 2022, with Rob from Dice Sports. See you later.
Thanks.